At my baby shower, my mother-in-law asked, "Who's the real father?" The entire room went silent. 23 women holding pink napkins and baby gift bags, all staring at me like I just confessed to murder. "What did you say, Linda?" I managed, my hand instinctively moving to my 7-month belly. Linda set down her mimosa and crossed her arms. I said, "Who's the real father?" Because, honey, the math isn't adding up and I think we all deserve to know the truth. My husband Mike jumped up from where he'd been arranging presents. "Mom, what the hell are you talking about?" "Don't you what the hell me, Michael? I've been doing some thinking and some calculating and things just don't make sense. Sarah here refuses to find out the baby's gender. She won't let us plan her shower properly. She planned this whole thing herself and didn't invite half the family. And most importantly, she's been acting weird around David. David, Mike's younger brother. David, Mike's younger brother." My stomach dropped. "What does David have to do with anything?" my mother asked, her voice getting that dangerous tone I remembered from childhood. Linda's eyes lit up like she'd been waiting for this moment. "Well, since you asked, David was here helping Mike move furniture last month when Sarah was supposed to be at work. But I drove by and saw her car in the driveway. When I called to check on them, David answered Mike's phone. That's when my phone buzzed. I glanced down and saw David's name. Perfect timing. Actually, Linda, you're absolutely right about David," I said, holding up my phone. "He has been asking suspicious questions." Linda's triumphant smile faltered slightly. "See, I knew something was wrong." "You're right, something is very wrong. David texted me yesterday asking if there was any chance this baby could be his." The room collectively gasped. Mike's face went from confusion to pure rage in about 2 seconds. I started reading from my phone. David's message says, and I quote, "Hey Sarah, I know this is weird, but Mom thinks there might be a chance the baby is mine. She said you and Mike have been having problems and maybe we should talk." Linda's face went completely white. "I never said that." "Really?" I said, scrolling through more messages. "Because here's another one from 3 days ago. Mom told me about that day I was at the house when Mike was in the shower. She thinks something might have happened between us." My sister Jenny's mouth fell open. "Linda, you told David to question his brother's wife." "I was just being careful," Linda stammered, backing toward the kitchen. Mike was staring at his phone, frantically scrolling. "Mom, David sent me screenshots. You've been texting him for weeks about this. You told him Sarah and I were fighting. You literally coached him on what questions to ask her." "But here's my favorite," I said, finding the worst message. "You told David that if the baby was his, you'd help him get custody because I'm not stable enough to be a mother." Every woman in that room was now staring at Linda with complete disgust. "Linda," I continued, "the day David was here when Mike was in the shower, I was at my doctor's appointment getting my glucose test done. David was here alone, waiting for Mike to get out of the shower so they could go buy paint for the nursery. Nothing happened because I wasn't even here. Mike was already calling David. He put it on speaker. 'David, Mom's here at Sarah's baby shower making accusations. Did anything ever happen between you and Sarah?' David's voice came through clearly, sounding horrified. "What? No, Mike, I'm gay. I've been dating Marcus for 6 months. Mom knows this. She's the one who kept saying you and Sarah were having problems and maybe I should make sure the baby was yours." The room erupted. Women were talking over each other and Linda looked like she wanted to disappear into the floor. "Mom," Mike said, his voice deadly calm. "You knew David was gay and you still tried to convince both of us that he might be the father of Sarah's baby. I just wanted to protect you," Linda said weakly. "From what? From my loving wife? From my supportive brother?" My mother stood up and pointed toward the door. "Linda, you need to leave my house right now. This is all a misunderstanding." Linda tried one last time. "The only misunderstanding," I said, "is how we ever thought you were a decent person." Linda grabbed her purse and headed for the door, but stopped and turned back. "When that baby comes out looking nothing like Mike, don't come crying to me." The door slammed behind her and the room stayed quiet for about 10 seconds before everyone started talking at once. "Our son was born 2 months later. He came out looking exactly like Mike, down to the little dimple in his chin." She tried to visit the hospital, but Mike had given security her photo. David came to meet his nephew and apologized profusely. 3 months later, Mike's dad filed for divorce, saying Linda had been manufacturing family drama for years. She sends cards now, but we returned them unopened.